Hello my dear students, once again welcome to your online class. Today we will continue the third chapter of your chemistry textbook, element, compound and mixture. So in the last class we had discussed about the elements and its types, and today we will start with the topic compound. Now unlike elements, coming to the compound are also the pure substances which are made up of more than one kind of atoms, but these atoms are always mixed in a fixed proportion. So what does the fixed proportion mean? The fixed proportion means, for example, the one molecule of water, it always consists of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. That means the ratio of hydrogen to the oxygen atom is 2:1. The next example is the sulfuric acid, H2SO4. The one molecule of sulfuric acid consists of two atoms of hydrogen, one atom of sulfur and four atoms of oxygen. So the simplest ratio is 2:1:4. So whenever the sulfuric acid is formed, if it is the case of more than one molecules, even in that case the hydrogen, sulfur and the oxygen, they will always be mixed in the ratio of 2:1:4. So that is what is meant by the fixed proportion. So the compounds are the pure substances which are made up of more than one kind of atoms, and they are always mixed in a fixed proportion. So the next topic is we have the symbols of an element and also the chemical formula of a compound. So what does the symbol of element tells us is, it's just the short form or it's the abbreviation of the name of the element. For example, writing oxygen will be OXYGEN. So in short, we may simply write it as O. The hydrogen in words or in alphabets, it may be written as HYDROGEN, but in symbol we can simply represent it by H. So symbol is nothing great, it's just the representation of the name of the element. Hydrogen we can write as H, the oxygen we can write as O, chlorine we can write as Cl, bromine we can write as Br, and so on. Now coming to the chemical formula of the compound. So what is it? Just like the symbols, they are the short form of an element. So the chemical formula, they are the short form of a compound. It's just the abbreviation of the name of the name of a compound. That means it represents one molecule of a given compound. For example, the water, we write it as WATER. So when we want to represent it in terms of its symbol or in terms of the atoms of which it is made up of, we write it as H2O. So this is a chemical formula of water. So the chemical formula of water tells us that the water consists of hydrogen and oxygen. It also tells us that in one molecule of water, there is two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. That is, the simplest ratio is 2:1. So that is what is meant by the symbol of an element and chemical formula of a compound. Now coming to the next topic, we have mixer. So what is a mixer? In our day-to-day life, we see so many things around us as a mixer. Just like when we go to buy, a commonly used term is jhalmuri. So what is it? So in jhalmuri, it has many ingredients in it, like murai, then we have onion, then we have mortar, so much more, so many. So it's just known as a mixer. So mixer is nothing great. Mixer is simply, it is the mixture of more than one kind of substances, but which are not mixed in a fixed proportion. Just like whenever you make a certain mixture, you can add the desired amount of substance in it. So hence the mixture is made up of more than one kind of substances, and these substances may not be necessarily mixed in a fixed proportion. So whatever amount you want, you can add into them, and then the substance you obtain is known as a mixer. And usually in a mixer, the element, they retains its original property. So now there are two kinds of mixer. They are the homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. So the homogeneous mixtures are the one in which the composition of the mixture is same throughout the given mixture. For example, the sugar and water. So in a sugar and a water, no matter from whichever point you take and sip of a water, the taste will still be a sweet. That means the composition of the mixture is same throughout. And heterogeneous mixtures are the one in which the composition is not the same. For example, if you take a solution of sand and water, you will usually see that at the bottom the water will not be so clear, but at the top the water is clear. That means the concentration at the lower and the concentration at the upper part of the same substance or the same solution, they are not equal. So such are said to be the homogeneous or heterogeneous mixture. So the heterogeneous mixtures are the one in which the composition is not same throughout the given solution. So now coming to the different kinds of mixture, there are so many different kind of mixture we know. So they are like, for example, we have solid and solid mixture. The example of solid and solid mixture is simply the brass, which is made out of copper and zinc. Coming to the solid and liquid mixture, so we have so many solid and liquid mixture. For example, a sugar is a solid when dissolved in a water. So that is the mixture of sugar and water, which is a liquid, solid and a liquid mixture. Gas and a liquid, all the cold drinks or the aerated drinks, they are the mixture of gas and as well as liquid. And we also have a liquid and liquid mixture. For example, the milk and water is an example of liquid and liquid mixture. So the last topic of your book is the methods of separation of few types of mixture. So the first process by which we can separate the mixture is known as evaporation. So what is evaporation? So the evaporation is a process in which the liquid changes into the gaseous state at any temperature. So by such processes, what is obtained? The salt from the sea water is usually obtained by the process of evaporation. The second we have is the method of crystallization. So in this method, a highly concentrated solution is heated to a very high temperature and then suddenly cooled down. On cooling down, the crystals appears. So that method is known as the method of crystallization. Usually the organic substances like urea, glucose, fat, they are obtained by the process of crystallization. Coming to the third process, that is the process of sublimation. We already know that the sublimation is the process in which the solid directly changes into the gaseous state when heated. By such methods, the substances like ammonium chlorides and the naphthalene can be obtained. Then we have the process of distillation. So in this process of distillation, what is done? For example, we can take water. If we have to separate a water and a solid or some dissolved impurities in it, we may boil water, the water will change into the steam and then this steam is condensed back into the water again. So such process is known as distillation. So by this process we can easily separate the mixture of liquid and solid. And coming to the last one is the separating funnel. So the separating funnel is a special device by which we can separate the two liquids which are immiscible. For example, if you have kerosene and water, so what can you do? You can pour the given solution in a separating funnel and open the nozzle. So thus the water which is heavy and settled in the bottom, it moves out and then only the kerosene will be left behind. So this is few of the methods of separation of a mixture. There are some more in your book which is not necessary for you to learn. So now, since we have already completed the third chapter of your book, I want you to go through this chapter, and if you find anything or any problem, you may contact in my WhatsApp number. And you should also try your best to solve all the problems that are given at the end of this book. And the questions related to chromatography, you need not have to solve it. Thank you.